color. So, we're talking about love. Welcome to Stories of Heroes, everyone. Again, we are with the men, and this time they are already seated in their spots. And so, again, thank you for tuning in and ask questions. But they're going to have a conversation. I got my young men here, young men who done splurge for Valentine's Day. I'm saying, get our young men to splurge on these little girls, right? You're 16, right? Your birthday today? Did she get you anything for your birthday? Okay, custom hoodie. That's what I'm talking about.
Custom hoodie with my name on it.
Okay, I told my son because he was gonna get his friend some flowers, teddy bears, all that stuff, and then he was gonna get her a ring. But his birthday coming up in a couple weeks. I said, no, we're gonna hold off on the ring. Let's see what she do for you for your birthday. You understand? Because it got to be mutual. It can't just be the men giving. I don't teach that. It can't be just the men giving and giving and giving, and then the women just sitting down receiving. You know what I'm saying? We got to know. It's give and take. I want you to know that early.
I already know that.
You already know that?
I already know that.
All right, good, good. Because, listen, let me tell y'all this. We teach people how to treat us. So if you get with a girl and you just giving her, guess what she going to expect you to do? Keep giving her. I promise you. She going to expect that. So when you stop, guess who going to seem like they tripping? You. So you want to make sure it's mutual. So my husband hit the jackpot.
Let's all agree so he don't get in trouble tonight. Sam, you hit the jackpot, my brother.
Wait a minute. Sam got to say it. I hit the jackpot, y'all. Yeah, I got to say it.
You got to say that.
I hit the jackpot.
You got to say that.
I hit the jackpot.
I don't know. 777s to somebody, maybe
good with that
666s.
cut, man.
Thank you, man. Thank
That
you.
looks good on you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we gonna make this show today about Gerard's new hairstyle.
Let's go.
It is
Let's
what
go.
He came in
Listen,
debonair. He got on Ralph Lauren. Yeah, man. Okay.
I feel good.
That's good.
You should. I think a man should feel good after Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
What was that? A little yeah?
Whoa. You don't feel good, bro?
Hey, man.
Oh, it's about me. I forgot it's about me.
man.
Me and my haircut. Well, you said put on your nice clothes. That's what you've been preaching to us for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I had a series of nice clothes this week, man. I've been outside.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, don't be outside too much. It's raining acid.
No.
I'm
still
the
outside.
chemicals went in the air and got in the cloud. It's raining acid. Something got on my face when I got out the car. I didn't know what to do. I just started running and swinging. I don't know.
That was your excuse right there not to come. It was raining
Hey,
acid.
and that's what I was thinking. Like, how are we gonna do this podcast? It's raining acid. Well, whatever. We hear by the grace of God. And
Hey, glory.
yeah. So
So, Gerard, what did you do for Valentine's Day?
I did a lot of things for Valentine's Day. I took Valentine's Day and the day after off, just to chill and do stuff for me. I'm single, so I want to tell the cons of it. I guess it was a little different to be single this year. It was different. I didn't mind it, but it was different. I'll say that. Something new. I sent a text. That's what I did. I sent a text to some
let's
females.
elaborate.
I sent a text. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Day of Love. That's what I said.
To a young lady.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's what I did in that sense. But then after that, I hit the ground running with taking care of me. I went and got a haircut. Oh, okay. You right. You did hit the jackpot. So I got a haircut. I went and got my windows tinted on my car. I went to Perfume Mania, bought a bunch of different colognes. Went to Bath and Body Works. Got some candles, some lotions, hand sanitizer and whatnot. Got complimented afterwards because I smelled good. Went to the mall. Thinking about buying some earrings, so I priced out some earrings for myself. Went and got some food. Jack Xander's. Picked up a to-go order and whatnot. Then came home and
So is it a specific reason why you didn't involve a woman in any of this?
I'm single. That's it. And
Single people still.
yeah, I mean, I'm single and I'm fresh out of a relationship.
Oh, okay.
I'm fresh out
Okay,
of a
I ain't
relationship.
know that part.
Sorry,
Okay,
sorry,
okay.
sorry. Yeah, fresh out of a
So
relationship.
you flexed on your ex with the haircut.
No.
And, oh, okay.
I didn't send her a
bad,
picture.
My bad.
What?
My bad. My bad.
What? I was send her a picture.
I was just asking.
Oh no. I just took care of myself.
Okay,
That's it. That's
okay,
it. I gave myself love. That's it. Yeah, self love, man.
I ain't even mad at you.
Y'all gotta try it one day.
I ain't mad at you.
Well, I took not out of context, but in a sense, the theory
that's
that you say
self-love. Yeah,
is
put your
self
good
love about
clothes
put on.
on.
Yeah, put your nice clothes on.
Yeah.
So in a sense, why not do it on Valentine's Day versus sit in the house and be depressed or sad that you ain't got nobody to do it with? You gotta do it in reverse. Why not get your haircut for yourself
I agree.
and send yourself a picture?
I agree. I agree. That was one of the things that was so important. Why we actually honored this day. We was going to Detroit on Tuesday and kind of went live, just talking about some things. And what does Valentine really, really mean? I mean, really, what does it really, really mean?
It's spiritual.
What's that?
It's spiritual.
It probably is. It might be. But it's called, now check this out, though.
I know where he going with that.
No, I ain't going with that. Check this out. And
He
see,
done fell for it again.
how many of you or us out there in here, after Valentine's Day was over, still got into some dog houses or some troubles, even though you went and you did what you felt was the right thing? How many? Anybody? It's cool, before and after.
Not before, but during the process of it going to Valentine's Day, the doghouse wasn't an option because I was already getting out of the doghouse.
I hear you.
So,
I hear you. I hear you.
They said, and this doesn't have anything really to do with the topic, but they said, how do you get through to a guy who is so damaged and can't trust, or is it just a dead situation?
How long? And what role? Who is this talking? Is this a wannabe? Is this the wife? Is this the mother?
How do you get through to a guy
Mm-hmm.
who is so damaged and can't trust? How do you get to? It sounds like she's saying, how do you get to him? How do you get through to him if he's been damaged, past relationship, childhood issues, and he has a difficult time trusting? Or is it a dead situation?
No, I mean I think most black men is damaged in some way. I mean, I think the only thing you can do is find a way to give the man confidence in the situation. If he can see that it's not about fixing everything. Sometimes it's just about letting him know and showing him that you'll be there regardless.
Yeah.
Even on the days. I remember I was damaged, with my wife when I met my wife, and I was going through I went through a breakup and all that, and I just was going through a moment where I just didn't want to be bothered. And at the time, my wife was probably a perfect fit for me, but I felt it was unfair for her to pursue me, because it was weird. I was pursuing her. Then once we got dating and stuff, I kind of backed off, and I felt wrong for letting her pursue me, knowing that I was too damaged to be even caught, if that makes sense. So I just told her, like, look, man, I got too much going on mentally, and I just need to take some time, you know what I'm saying? And my wife is a panicker almost, so you tell her something like that, she thinks she did something wrong, da-da-da. So one day, and I had a drinking issue back then, and one day, like 2-3 days into me telling her that I just needed some time and it's me and not her, that whole little speech. I worked 3 jobs at a time, so I came home one night late, and it was just a little bag at my front door, and it was a little pint of liquor, and she said, I really, don't like when you drink like that, but I just thought, if I can't be with you or help you in a physical way, have a drink on me and just be safe. And in that moment, that's what showed me that she was exactly what I needed in that time. So things like that to make a man know that sometimes they are just what we need in a moment of being super damaged. You have to find creative ways to give a man that confidence. So that would be my answer.
So that's what she asked. She said, "What's the best way to give men confidence?" And I kind of got a concern with that, right? Because I'm not sure if we can. I mean, what are your thoughts? I mean, can we give y'all confidence? Go ahead, Sam.
It really depends. Um, when you're talking about giving confidence, it has to be to an individual that's willing to receive confidence. A lot of times when we get damaged to that degree, we ain't trying to do nothing. You know, we really trying to escape. We really trying not to be seen because we know that we're not in the place that we should be. And so for a woman to take the time to show that patience, yeah, it could be helpful, but I still have to be in a place where I'm ready to receive. Because if I can't receive anything, you can do all you want, tap dance, do whatever. Yeah. I'm not going to receive it, and especially if you're talking about building me. If you're talking about building me, what brick is needed? We want to build from the top, but the foundation has to be built first. And so for me, I don't know if anybody could help me other than what you say, show me that you care. At least I know, wow, man, she thought about me. And I can't receive it, but she thought about me. And so it has to start somewhere. But as far as me, if I'm been damaged to that degree, probably ain't nothing you can do horizontally for me. Nothing at all.
I agree. If I'm damaged, it's going to take me to get myself to where I need to be. That thought process is nice, but I need to figure myself out before I jump into something else because I don't want to emotionally hurt somebody else based on what I'm feeling. Mm-hmm. So that understanding of knowing me prior to getting into this relationship or even attempting to. If I feel that notion, I'm not going to even jump into it. I'm the type of individual to be like, look, right now is not the time. I can't give you myself when I have something else going on. Like I gotta make that clear. So yeah, I don't feel like that will be an issue.
Have any of you looked back over the past, like just say previous relationships that you knew could have potentially been good relationships, but you weren't in a good mental space or even mature enough to accept it? Have any of you looked back on that?
100%.
Go ahead, Gerard.
100%. All of them.
All of them.
All of them.
Yes, sir.
I'm still growing and learning each and every day. Like, really, one of the things that I had to realize was that I was big on like watching like my parents' relationship or my grandparents and doing compare and contrast with them of things that worked or didn't work. And so like with my parents, they argued a lot. And so like I watched them argue and I thought that like that's how I would solve problems with when I was with somebody. And so when you arguing, only toxic things happen 9 times out of 10 at the argument. So you're not walking away or giving space. It leads to eventually y'all gonna try each other and so on and so on after that. So I definitely have looked back after a lot of them like, dang, like I was immature how I handled some things, which I did different. And even I would say the women was always more mature. I do want to say I do a good job of picking women. I just don't do a good job of with myself allowing them to stay long. But that's me, something I'm working on. So yeah, I definitely think I've definitely sat down and self-reflected of like, I could have done some things different. I mean, I do realize that things work itself out, but I think at least for me, I got to be self-aware and get myself to like, nah, Gerard, you did that one thing where like that, yeah, they cheated or yeah, they moved, but maybe you would have communicated more, or you'd have been more in tune with your feelings or whatever like that, or you wouldn't have kept playing things crazy every day. Like, so.
I'll tell you what, if any of Gerard exes is watching tonight, he's ready. He's ready now. You nice young lady,
Yeah.
y'all didn't deserve that. He got his hair cut.
Haircut.
He got nice clothes. He
Yeah.
got a new whip.
New whip.
Hey, spin the block for
Yeah,
Gerard. He
spin
ready
the
now.
block.
Spin the block, man. Spin the block.
I'm a millionaire now. Come on, just keep speaking the things into it.
Want to take it there, but he's a
that-
millionaire.
The price that went up, like, come on. Yeah, living in a HOA. Yeah, perfect time. What's that, HOA? Oh man, we'll talk offline about that, bro. They come to your snow. Come to your grass and you just look out the curves over.
Oh, okay.
That was pretty strong to actually say that. Is actually to admit that you've made a mistake in your path to get to where you are right now. Of course, there's a lot of things that you wish you should have done better. And looking back, if I would have known myself now with that woman that I would have been with, would she have still been the same? Or did she learn by her investments that she put out there? So for me, it'll be very, very, I'm not a regretful person that says I was fixing to, or I could have, especially in relationships. That person met me how I was, and that's who I was there. So for me to project backwards, that's kind of hard to do.
I think everybody could have been better,
Yes.
before. So I just think the emphasis probably should be to be better and to prepare to be better in the future. I mean, everybody could have been better in the past. I honestly think all relationships, in a sense, can work depending on situations. Because you chose the person. You do got some people that just get in a relationship because the girl got pregnant or stuff, or the brother need a spot to stay and she willing and let him, But if you just wholeheartedly choose somebody, then I believe it can always work if both people are willing to make it happen. Even married man, as a married man, and I know a lot of married men, I probably speak for us all to say we probably have all thought back and played the tape and like, well, did I choose the right one? Or, and now you hear, we here to be real. You hear these fellas be like, that's my soul. That could be your soulmate, and you could still be questioning your decisions that you made. But I think that's why it's big for both people to show up every day to prove that we both made the right decision to each other. But to go back, we can all be better before. But I think any situation can really work if both parties have the same intentions, same effort. Like we was talking about before it started, about it being 50-50. It's not about money all the time, but it's just about showing up for each other. That's what I gotta say.
Question. Did those of you who are married or in a relationship, did y'all feel pressure with Valentine's Day coming? Did y'all feel pressure to do something?
I'm gonna start this off. I'm gonna say no. I didn't feel pressured, but Valentine's Day is something that my significant other enjoys. So just the thought in my mind to do something. With me personally, I like giving cards. I'm a card giver. So just to go into the store, pick the right card is something that I enjoy. Now, with her, she does like flowers. She likes flowers. So that is something that I wasn't able to get. But again, in the back of my mind, knowing that I can provide it at some point. But it wasn't pressure. I didn't feel pressure. I didn't feel like I had to do something on that day. But actually, we had a good day. So I will take that.
Whew.
Sex
Right. I remember when y'all went live on Valentine's Day, Lashana said that it's been a season. It's been a rough season. it's been a season for me and my wife. You know, I'll be willing to say that. So I didn't feel. Normally, I'd like to do extravagant things. But I've been in a season of evaluating why I do things. And this year I made it a point to not make it about that. Because me and my wife been talking a lot lately about not making it about money spent and monetary things and stuff like that. Cause I'm not, I'm a giver, you know, but I also am a person that I will evaluate what's coming back. And too many times I feel like I was, just to be transparent, setting myself up to be disappointed. Now my wife, she's not a planner. She'll openly say that. Um, so when you with somebody that's not their strong trait, and you hoping, you know, that these things happen for you, the type of things that you've done, and that doesn't happen, mentally, that's a fight. You know what I'm saying? And then you're not even so much as disappointed in them. I'm the type of person that'd be disappointed in myself. Like, well, you set yourself up for this. You already knew how it was gonna go down and da da da. So this year I just was like, let's just keep it simple. You know what I'm saying? We did go to a marriage retreat over the weekend, which was great. And then I just kept it simple. You know, flowers, card. No, you know what? I didn't get a card. They didn't have good ones where I was at. So I'm like, I bought a pair of shoes and some flowers, and then I cooked this little steak dinner that night, and I just kept it simple. We had a conversation though, just to be transparent. I'm like, does it make you feel a way that I didn't go all out? And she was like, yes and no. You know, that really means yes. you know. But she was like, I understand the why. You know, she was like, I haven't done the best job of making sure that you felt it in return. So, you know, it's something we can work towards. So we had a real conversation, and I was happy that we could be honest with each other. But I did feel pressure, but it was pressure on myself to not put myself back in that wheel. You know what I'm saying? So I was satisfied with just keeping it simple for the season that we in, at least. Now, Sam, you don't have to say if you felt pressure, because I know you did. Y'all went to Detroit. Y'all had a beautiful evening. Y'all stayed in a 5-star hotel. Then you went live to flex on all of us about it. So I appreciate you for that.
You said that then
Yeah.
too. How would you answer that? It's never obligated for me, but sometimes it comes to a place where it's necessary. Um, we have our issues, our ups and downs as well. But for this, I mean, I love my wife, and a lot of times I do things because I just want to let her know and that she would feel secure that whatever I had on the opening day, when opening up the doors and all that stuff, I'm the same Negro. Ain't nothing changed. There's nothing that she's done that has diminished that part of our love. And so for me to go to Detroit or whatever I would have done, as we went live on Facebook, I mean, I kind of like went all in with what I had, even knowing that her birthday is coming. But I'm living for today. I live for right now. And that was a moment that I could show her that, babe, I'm still in love with you. And so to me, it wasn't an obligation or I had to. It was more of a necessity to continue. Like, okay, I got to keep plugging in here. You know, I got to keep charging the system because it'll run dry. So if we allow our arguments, we allow our situations, what we can't do, and it's not always about funding. That's oof. That should have been the question. How much are you willing to spend to show that you love? And so when you started doing in that atmosphere, then you started getting into, man, I don't know if I got all this. You start counting pennies and quarters. I'm there. But the necessity of showing my wife that I love her and showing her that she is that woman, it was, man, it was great for me. It was great.
Comment. Someone said, I agree. It is necessary. It is necessary. Great way to put it. But listen, I want to pull out something. What Sean was saying and then what Sam was saying, right? Because it's a lot of people that start off one way, right? And so my husband is the one that cooks, that cleans, do all of that stuff, right? So, and he's been doing it the 15, 17 years we've been together, right? Now, if all of a sudden he switch up without communicating that with me, it would it would be like a monkey wrench being thrown in the relationship. So you have to be able to, really pay attention to how did I start this thing, and am I willing to continue? Is it me? Because one of the things I said to my husband is, if you change along this path, then I got the right to say I don't. I do to the man that you're showing me now, but if you change it up, then I got the legal right to say I don't.
I think, man, the crazy thing is nowadays it's hard enough trying to find somebody who you just. I know my prayer when I was looking for a woman to call my wife. I just wanted somebody that I knew that loved me for me.
Yes, sir.
And I found that, and but it's so many aspects of marriage. You know what I'm saying? And there's so many changes that come, and I could say, we've been thrown in a whirlwind the last couple years, and it's been a good whirlwind. But good doesn't always bring good. So financially, things have been just scaling up. But in the intertwine of that, what Puff say, more money, more problems. I mean, we all know because we spoke about it in sessions and stuff. Everybody don't take things the same way. And it's funny because me and my wife talk about that. I used to love holidays. I used to love buying people stuff and all that. And in these last couple years, I hate them. I hate every holiday. I'm not into any of them. Sometimes my wife feel bad. Like, I feel like, I was the cause. And I'm just like, no, because life just changes things like that sometimes. Because it's just weird, man. I was willing to spend more money probably when I had less, which is weird. I don't know how that happens, but yeah. So it just, man, it's a lot of aspects, and when you finally find somebody, I won't say that some things are shadowed, but sometimes you are in awe. Like, man, I really found this woman. So you're not necessarily ignoring some things in your spouse, but you just willing to work through it. And sometimes working through it just get tough. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you have to want to change people, but it's okay to have expectations and to believe that your spouse can be better than what they was when y'all got together. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But sometimes that comes with a backlash. It comes with a fight. It comes with regret. What's that one thing they say that they do? Dang, I can't think of the word, but it comes with a lot sometimes, and all change ain't bad, and sometimes you just take the right person in the right situation for it to be a good thing. So yeah, that's my answer to that.
I'd like to piggyback on what you said on that, Sean. That you said that it seems like when you had less, you was really wanted to do more. And I think out of what you said, that what I just took from that is that your desire to do was greater. The things that you really wanted to do was always upchupping in your mind, and you can always envision that. And then once you have it for a while, it's not that it gets boring, but okay, we've done this before. We've done this. I've taken you here. We've done that. What else to it? And sometimes your desire for that situation can erode. But I like that, man.
I felt bad after listening to what you said, because like what you said was, despite the season, I still got to keep plugging into my wife, and that was the fight.
Mm-hmm.
The fight was, should I be myself and just do things how I want to do it? Because I kind of fought it all day. That was the pressure I felt like. Man, go out and do this. Forget what happened and forget this and that. And I felt bad. Like, I feel like as maybe I shouldn't let situations derive me for things that I want to do for my wife or the way I want to make her feel. But it's the battle with feeling like standing up for yourself, or because like you said, some things, if you leave stones unturned, then that's what they'll always be, unturned, and the person will think that they feel like they just know how you gonna handle each situation, and that's what goes back to the putting on your good clothes And because sometimes you gotta switch, like you can't really be
Yeah.
predictable, because, and I'm not speak just in general, when you predictable, that is the most vulnerable place to be taken advantage of. So, and I think sometimes your spouse can take advantage of you or how you are unconsciously. Like, well, I know regardless of what happened, he gonna do this, this, and that. So sometimes you gotta throw a curveball in there, like, oh, I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know if that's right. I mean, you got more experience with. You tell me, in that situation, in a rough season, should a man still proceed to do what he's always done, or is it okay for him to take a stand and, like, hey, I'm not feeling it right now, so I'm not doing that?
Well, kind of to answer it, if I can, from experience, in this marriage with my wife, one thing that I had to learn is I had to learn my motives. What is the motive of why I do what I do? And a lot of times when we begin to do less, then there was a hurt that happened. And it brought you to a place of reality. Listen, I love her, but damn, baby, I was kind of like, and you hurt me right here. And if you get hurt too many times, what we have always taught here is not the last hurt that broke up your marriage or your relationship. It's that constant hitting in that area that's chopping at the tree. It's just that was the last blow that knocked the tree down. And so if you continue to chop at something, you continue not to let your feeling known. I would say you didn't make your feeling known on that situation. You corralled it, you hold it, you held it to a point, and where it was beckoning for you, it's like, babe, that wasn't cool. You went on and tried to do more stuff, and then it resurfaced again, and then it resurfaced again, and then it got you to the point like, man, that's hard to do now. Now you begin to doubt the relationship or these particular particles of that relationship right then and there. So once again, check your motives. If you're damaged, say so. Don't let it pile up where you begin to cover it up with stuff, and now it's hard to get to because it will resurface. And when it does, it comes back harder. It comes back harder.
Let me say this. I just did a 2-hour marriage session last night, and one of the things that I noticed is that it was a lot of tit for tat going on, right? And so when I look at our marriage, that's one of the things that we don't have in our marriage, right? This tit for tat, and the communication is very important. So I always check in with him to see, okay, wait, am I giving what you need? Am I meeting your needs? I see that you're trying hard, you know what I'm saying, to meet mine, but am I meeting yours? Because I don't want to just assume we both have it. You know what I'm saying? So the communication piece is very important, because if I just start unplugging, it's going to eventually, by the time we realize that our distance will be so far apart, that it's like, wait, because remember this, we still on the same team. Right? Now, if I get mad at you because I keep throwing you, the ball, and you keep missing the shot, it's like, okay, come on. And so now I say I'm not throwing you the ball no more, but we're on the same team, and you may be in position to get the shot. But I done got an attitude. And that's in our relationship. You cannot forget that you and your wife, your partner, are on the same team. Communication is key. That's the beautiful thing I love about, our relationship. I tell my husband all the time, you don't have to assume with me, right? I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel, and I'm going to tell you if I don't like something. You do not have to assume, and I don't want to assume with you.
Correct.
So
Correct.
communication is key.
Yeah. That is a truth. Go ahead.
But me, and this goes into y'all feeling like y'all can talk about y'all feelings. Like, do you feel safe? You know what I'm saying? Being vulnerable with your emotions with your wife or with your spouse.
Well, it gotta be like, I say it all the time. It can't be no defense. When your spouse, and not take the genders out of it, when your spouse come to you with something and say, hey, I'm feeling this way, the attitude has to be, okay, I'm ready to go to work. Whatever it is, what you think need to happen, let's talk about it. But when it's a rebuttal and when it's defense being played, it makes the whole situation even worse. Well, you did. That's the tit for tat. So I'm doing it like this, and I think all people can unconsciously do that, because at the end of the day, you have to think about yourself. So it's like, I know they say you're always supposed to have your spouse in mind, but man, when stuff get heated, you like, listen, I got to think about myself too, So I understand where the tit for tat comes from, but like you said, the most beautiful situations is where we can always just be on offense. And if there is a situation, we both know that we about to grow from whatever these changes that's about to be made. But man, I'll just be honest. Sometimes in marriage, see, we can talk about the good stuff and all that. Sometimes, man, you get hit with some hard situations where all you know how to do is be on the defense.
Yes.
And I don't think that makes anybody a bad person or a bad spouse. And sometimes it take different things to snap out of it. But the reality of it is, man, this thing called marriage get ugly a lot of times.
Yes,
it just do. And we can all sit here and talk about the beautiful things, but it's tough. It's tough. I don't care how much of us. I remember, I ain't gonna say nobody's name, but I remember I knew a guy. He was with his woman for years before they got married, and he got married before me, and this was a super great dude, super good woman. And the first 2 years, I asked him, I said, man, how? So how? And they were soulmates. Everybody knew it. And I'm like, so how was marriage? Because I'm thinking about doing it. He said, man, it's beautiful, but it's the hardest thing I ever had to do in my life. And I was confused, like, dog, y'all was made for each other. And he said, man, you don't understand what you signing up for. You signing up to put in work whether you want to or not, whether your day was bad or not, whether all of that. Like it's a everyday thing. You know what I'm saying? Like how you I just was talking to somebody at the marriage retreat, and he was saying his wife is a teacher, and he like, it sound petty. He said, but I have to be prepared every day for when my wife come home from work, cause she teach little kids. I gotta just listen to the story about how little Ray then did all it, and he was like, it burns me up. He was like, it don't sound hard, but I hate that, but I have to listen because this is what I signed up for. And that's the harsh reality, man. It's every marriage come with hard times and hard situations, and you really just gotta keep pushing every day. I mean, I don't know if that takes away from the beauty, but that's the reality of marriage. You know what I'm saying? It's trials, and you gotta be willing. I tell people, just make sure you find the right one to fight with. I mean, it ain't always gonna be peaches and gravy.
Wow, I like that. I'm not trying to dominate. One of the things that I do believe that is necessary, and once again, if something goes down, men and women, that you really didn't appreciate it, then don't swallow it. It doesn't mean that you have to go to your corner and put your mouthpiece in, but just let it be known that that part right there, I'm not with. Could you have dressed this up a little different? Could you come to a better understanding with me on this? Because this was an ouch moment. But a lot of times us as guys or men, we'll just wear it and put this facade on. Like, yeah, baby, it's cool. And so what I'm saying to us as men, the only reason that I would do something like that is because I got another objective or another idea, because if I know if I go here, I mean, I might not get some of this later. So I put my mask on in order that I may get the treat, but then trick myself. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be honest, and I love what she said, and please don't miss that. She'll tell me how she really feels. And that way I don't have to go digging, well, maybe this is how she feels, or maybe she feels like this. And sometimes the bluntness can be like, ooh. But if that's how she feels, she's putting it right there. Well, here's the solution. I give you an issue. Here's the solution. Or here it is. Now, let's talk about how we're going to deal with it. I don't have to go looking under beds and all of this kind of stuff to find out what she's talking about. And so in your marriage, be teachable in it. Her main emphasis is that you're going to teach people how to treat you. And if you know someone has said something to you, or she has done something to you that was unacceptable, and you didn't respond, then you just taught her to do that again without your permission. You just taught her. Now she does it on a continue, and you bringing it to the forefront. Like, baby, that hurts, and you did it again. That hurts, baby, you did it again. Then maybe you can question the relationship itself. But please quit hiding hurts and pains and moving forward. Hey, do a stop. Put a comma in that circle. If it ain't a period, at least put a comma, discuss it, sit back, and don't talk out of your pains. Don't talk out of your hurt. Talk out of your solutions.
Y'all know, I'm sorry. I'm sitting here and I'm listening, and I'm like, man. Now, of course, I come from a therapeutic, standpoint and behavioral person, but I'm literally thinking about how we move in our marriage, right? And I mean, literally, we've been together 17 years, right? And probably, if we had to say rough years, it probably been the last year, you know what I'm saying, or 6 months or something, you know what I'm saying, something like that, right? And it hasn't been rough because of us in a way. It could be, okay, us having different styles of parenting and me feeling like, okay, you're doing the same thing, over and over. But what came to me was, before I met him, I was good with me. Like I wasn't, I was healed from past relationships, all of that stuff. I have a solid relationship with God. And so it's some things I don't lean on him for. So we literally, like, that's really my friend. And so I don't have to come home from work and talk to him. That was just thinking about what Sean just shared. I don't have to come home from work and talk to him about what was happening at work. You know what I'm saying? Because at that time, I don't really want to talk. I just want to sit with you. You know what I'm saying? I just want to chill, right? So I'm just sitting back and I'm like, no, I'm not perfect. Because to be honest, I'm one that's like, if it mess, I will leave. You know what I'm saying? If my peace is disturbed, I'm like, okay, yeah, I can't. This ain't, especially if it's irreconcilable differences. But like literally, we're friends, and that's why sometimes I'm like, it shouldn't be hard. It shouldn't be hard. And when it is hard, somebody is on the defense. Somebody is being critical, right? Because if you're on the defense, that means you feel like your partner is criticizing you. That's why we get defensive, because we feel like we're being criticized. And so really, you know what I'm saying, assessing that and being able to see. But go ahead, Anthony.
Sitting here listening to Sam and Sean, to me, it makes sense. From being a married man to now being in a relationship, understanding that at some point in the near future, I will be married again, because I see marriage as a symbolic thing, through Christ. But understanding that there are things that I have to go through, based on what my significant other has been through. Looking at it from that standpoint, um, when when I come home, when we are in a relationship, in a relationship, sometimes I have to talk, based on what she had to go through, or me personally, sometimes I don't want to talk. So it's trying to find that balance of trying to understand, okay, well, today I really don't want to talk about my day. I sit here and listen to your day, but I don't really want to talk about my day. For me, it's more of a sense of, all right, let's get out. Let's go for a walk. Let's try to figure this thing out. That gives us both the opportunity at that moment to say, okay, well, how was your day? How was your day? Let the kids play. Let's sit back. Let's talk about our day. When we get home, we're going to let that go. Play a board game, have the family time, go to sleep, get up and do it again. Just understanding that process of trying to figure out my significant other before my marriage happens. I think it would be better for us, but again, sometimes when I'm in processing, I do think about like, okay, if you are thinking this now, then later you may be thinking the same thing. But I had to learn, or I'm learning to understand, like, hey, I got to talk to you about this because this don't feel right. If I say it now, then we should be on a better page, and I have to understand that I have to accept you for what you're trying to tell me. Um, and it's a battle. It's a battle, and the person that I've been with probably 10, 11 years. So I feel like we got a good understanding of each other, but it's still building. It's still building, even though we have a daughter, even though we have other children. We're still building, trying to figure it out before we step into that realm of marriage. And sometimes it's difficult, but sometimes it's beautiful. So,
I hate to break your bubble, but you're already married.
got got it, got it.
To break your bubble, but you already.
Someone said on the last podcast, someone said that men are not created or designed or whatever to be faithful, to be with one man, one woman. What is your take on that?
I keep saying the same thing. We all really created the same. The only thing make us indifferent is decisions. I mean, like I said, if decisions and choices. If we see a fine woman walk past this room right now, our thoughts are probably all going to be the same. Some deeper than others, but generally they're going to be the same. And the only thing that's going to make us different is some people are going to be willing to act on their thoughts. And that could be based on what they got going on in life. It don't mean that they're a bad person. Some people are in dangerous, vulnerable situations, and it could just happen like that. So I don't think I think that's kind of ignorant to say that men was just created to not be. I mean, because it's a decision at the end of the day. I mean, it's as much as the world try to make all these things like mental and all of that, like they saying pedophilia, you could be born. No, these things are decisions. Now I do believe people can go through things mentally, but that's a different story. But we can't cancel out the fact that a lot of this stuff is really just decision. You can decide to cheat, or you can decide not to cheat. Some people's circumstances may be tougher than others, or some people may be more vulnerable to others, but you always have a decision. Now, unless they grab you and they were stronger than you and they took you to the other room and they took it, then you ain't decide on that. But that might be the story some fellas saying. But yeah, I don't believe that. Everybody has a choice to be faithful.
Yeah, I mean, I interrupt them, but I piggyback off and say, man, that's choices. Like how we all chose to come here today. You can choose whether you're gonna be faithful or not. I think it's more or less of a. For me, it was my immature mindset then, where it was like, I didn't value myself or certain people I was dating, so it was like, I'm gonna cheat or mess around and stuff like that. That's just my thought process about that. But as I got older, more expensive to deal with more than one person.
But you're right. Talking
up?
about choices, you made a choice to be celibate.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
What made you make that choice?
college.
College.
Just coming down to another state. The question was what made me chose to be celibate. Really, just I was at a point in my life where I was dealing with a lot of toxic things, and it was like, how do I guess, how do I rebirth myself, and how do I get myself ready, as Anthony said, to be married and things like that. And it was like, you hear so many times in man conversation, or at least I do, where it's like, oh, she a hoe, or whatever like that, or because she did X, Y, and Z. But it's like, when you think about it, guys can be hoes too, or whatever like that, And it was like, I didn't want that, and I'm even at the point now where I go out and I be like, dang, that's such and such, or whatever like that. And so it's like at this point now where it's like, I feel like I'm gonna be able to. I want my wife to be like, y'all don't know him for real, only I do, wherever like that. So that was one of my choices of why I chose to be celibate and whatnot. So yeah,
How long you been celibate now?
March 1st, it'll be 4 years, man.
Wow, to God be the glory.
4 years.
One of the.
Hold on, Sean got a question. He got a statement about that. What's up, man? What's up?
I don't know. That's tough. That's a long time. But you said you had some slip ups.
Not like having sex, but
Oh,
I said
okay.
like I watch porn.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And porn is everywhere now, especially in this day and age. You go on Instagram, you looking at something, and you like, oh, okay, keep scrolling real fast, or you close out of the app, and whatnot. But it was just a choice I needed to make and whatnot like that.
So you don't have like any plans on what's the end game? Like you staying celibate until you married, or
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I dated. I would say even when I was dating recently, and we both chose we was going. It was a great experience. The fact that like we didn't do it as much as pray in those times and whatnot like that, but one of us just had more willpower than the other person that day, and like, okay, the kissing is going too far or whatever like that, you know. And it was even at one point where sleeping in separate rooms or whatever like that. It was really that desire to like, nah, I ain't gonna jeopardize this. And for me, that's when things get cloudy. Just not in a relationship, but for me, like, not knowing if, hey, are you the one, or I'm supposed to be figuring out, and even like business choices that I make, I can tell when I'm like cloudy upstairs about some stuff, and it's like, dang, I'm thinking about some other stuff that I probably shouldn't be thinking. I'm choosing to think about some other stuff that I shouldn't be thinking.
So like if you say you was dating a woman, everything was going well, and you felt that she could be the one, and she just decided she didn't want to be celibate no more. Is that a deal breaker? Like, how does that go?
I think that's a conversation. I think for the last 4 weeks, we talked about communication. I think even you said it week 2 or last week that if your wife decided, no, we're not doing it anymore, that's something y'all got to talk about. It's a covenant with God, so we definitely got to talk about that. Like, all right, what's leading us to not want to be celibate no more? Like, what's so different versus today versus, maybe next year or wherever like that after we married or wherever like that, So,
commend you, my brother.
Hey man,
Commend
appreciate you, man.
I couldn't.
Sometimes you gotta put on your nice clothes.
Listen, see, you put on nice clothes and the women gonna be on you. Now, that get dangerous, you know.
But I will say this: it's, how you ever been out and women turn you trying to get a woman number, and like she say I got a boyfriend or whatever like that.
Hey Gerard, I'm married.
No, I'm sorry. I said when.
I know. I just
dang man. I didn't hit a woman. I didn't hit a few women like that. Like, no, I'm not even interested or whatever like that. Or was at a point where we was conversing and they said X, Y, and Z. Oh, I'm celibate, baby. I can't even do that. And they didn't change their whole they didn't hit me up no more. It's weeded out the people I need to be around with. So the healthy choices or whatever like that.
This is petty.
What's up? Let's talk, man.
But the amount of anger I would have.
Why?
If I was celibate for 4 or 5 or 6 years and got with a woman, and
it wasn't good.
I mean, it's a lot of things that can happen. It could not be good. It could not look good. It could not smell right. I'm just saying that is tough. I'm just being honest. Like, it's a lot of boxes you got to check off, 100%. And I'm just trying to figure out how can these boxes be checked off. That's tough, brother.
It is tough.
I'm just saying though, I'm guessing the answer is probably is that you trust in God.
Definitely.
That but if it come with defaults, and if the package came damaged, it's because I'm big on that. Like, if it don't look right, I can't go. So
right.
I'm curious about the lifestyle on it, because I'm just like, I would be pissed off if we done got all the way there. Man, you done asked her dad to marry her and got the family excited, and first night, that's a different type of anger. Yeah. But I'm going to pray that whenever you get her, everything is right and intact, because that... Woo.
I'm not going to update you on that. I hope you know that, right?
I'm
not going to be like, let me...
Yeah.
Hey, bro, I'm coming over to the garage. I got all my nice
just
clothes.
Let me know,
we got to talk... No.
Just send me a text the day after the marriage and say everything was everything. No. God is still good. And I'll be like, good, man.
I'm tell you right now, everything is everything, and God is...
But on a serious note, because my mind, what I'm thinking was scary about that is, that's like how you said. You said you scroll and you
Yeah.
see women and all of that. My thing is,
100%.
if you dating a woman and y'all both agree to be celibate, I can only imagine the type of things that's built up
100%.
sexually and hormones and all that.
Yes, sir.
So if she sees a man just like how we see women,
Yeah.
and I just can imagine a person being super vulnerable, So I can it's just like if that was to happen. Okay, now this is a good question because people always ask if you in a relationship or you married and somebody cheat on you, would you leave? If you was dating somebody and they was celibate, y'all celibate, and they was telling you like, hey, it's starting to get rough for me, and you like, hey, well, I'm still trying to stay on this, and that, and some other dude and got lucky and blamed her. Is that still the conversation? Can y'all talk about it and make it past that?
What you mean? She go have sex? And we
Yeah.
I can't say we're gonna talk about it and it's gonna be cool.
But see, now I think that's unfair.
How?
Because to sign up for such a lifestyle, that has to come with understanding how difficult it would be. Because my thing is that woman could very much so be a good woman, but just fell short. Because you talking about 4 years. That's a long time.
But that's 4 years
But I'm just saying, who's to say
y'all?
y'all want to date for 4 years? So I'm just like, I just feel bad because it's like they could really, man. I'm trying. I maybe I'm a horn dog, but I just know.
You saying it like I'm 16 and I've been celibate 4 years.
I'm just saying, I know how
29
tough
this
it
year.
would be, and I'm just like cause like we talked a week or two ago about if your wife wasn't giving you none, does that make you a bad man because you fell short and was vulnerable and got caught in a bad situation? So I'm just trying to apply it to that, like, because think about how much vulnerable you are, and it's been years, and on top of that, you in love with somebody, but you just can't go there, but you got all this built up anticipation, and that thing start to get to you, and it's like, and if you just refusing and they get caught in a vulnerable situation, like, is that something you could work past? Or
So let me say this, because I don't know if Gerard is really saying it, to get clear, right? So Gerard is on a spiritual path, right? He's on
Definitely.
a spiritual path, and God is sustaining him. So if he starts dating, I'm assuming that, well, not assuming, but they both should be on the same page in the aspect
Yeah.
of, we don't want to have sex until we marry. And I promise y'all, sex ain't just, ain't all that powerful. You know what I'm saying? It's what we make it. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about choices. We're talking about mindset. So, and I don't think, like, in Sean's mind, I'm trying to see this.
well, no, listen. Let me say it this way. What if you just say you're not in a relationship and y'all just dating,
Yeah.
but you like her, and she like you, and she knows your stance on that, and you ask her, would that be something you willing to do? What if she say, well, I'm not at liberty to answer that question right now? Would you still pursue her? You know what I'm saying? That's what these is real situations.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, because my thing is, like I said, I know when I was dating my wife and we was just dating, and she would ask me, because we was having sex and stuff, are you having sex with other women? I said, I really don't have to answer that question because we not committed. So my thing is, I feel like that's the risk you take. You can be taking a woman. It happens all the time, but I just imagine it being more strenuous because you not having sex at all, and you taking this woman on date and you courting her whole time. The last dude still coming around getting his rocks off. I just could only understand I would be pissed. Like,
Yeah.
He would too.
Yeah.
right. I don't know. I'm just trying to understand.
I don't know,
I ain't trying to talk
this
you
is
out of it.
40-year-old version to you or something like that. It's not.
Because it would
But-
be easier if you was just a virgin. That's why I'm imagining it to be tough. Like you said, you done been to college. You done had women and all this. So I'm
Exactly.
trying to.
That's why I can answer from both sides. And I definitely always got to say the spiritual side, but I don't always go into that, Lashana, because in a sense, some people don't even realize that the control factor that it has, of like how much it does control you. So I have conversations differently depending on who's in the room, wherever like that. Now, if I was at the church, I'm gonna say, of course, it's my spiritual side. I got one of my releases is pure, et cetera, like that. In this room, I'm not appealing to that audience of is my spiritual side. We having a conversation, and whatnot. So it just depends on the room that I'm in. But I would definitely be mad, just to say the least, if I was dating someone and they were and she was having sex. But like Lashana said, 9 times out of 10, and the last 2 people that I even talked to, they had already started their journey separate from me.
So you met them while they was in their
But
celibacy journey.
that wasn't like something we talked about right off the rip. And when it came from like us just talking, and then it was like X, Y, and Z came up, and it was like, oh, I've been doing this too, or I may not have called it that, or whatever like that, and now just gave a name to it.
So at what point of the dating process do you let them know, like, hey, I'm celibate and I'm not having sex no time soon?
It just depends. Excuse me. It just depends. It wasn't like date 3 or whatever like that. But at the point now, I think most people know because it is one of I talk about it in my art. It's a collection of mine. So I think 9 times out of 10 people know now, especially if you follow me. I talked somewhere on there.
So, Gerard,
Yes.
even though, right, the audience, do you
Yes.
believe that you can be celibate for 4 years?
Mhm.
You, right,
Yeah.
can be celibate for 4 years if it wasn't a commitment or a covenant you made with God. That's a good question.
Say it
Do you
again.
believe that
Basically,
you
take the
can be-
spirituality out of it.
Oh,
If you took
no.
right.
No.
So that's why no matter what audience, and this is why this is important, right?
Yeah.
Because I get a lot of people
Yeah.
who say, women and men, who say, you know what, I'm not having sex no more. And they try to do with manpower.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why I needed to bring that out.
True. Okay.
It
Yeah.
is the spiritual,
Yeah.
the spirituality.
Yeah. Oh no, because I couldn't have made it this far and whatnot. Because I definitely been tempted and whatnot. Like we can definitely have a conversation next week about how I've been tempted or wherever like that. And it was like, nah, I gotta go and pray or wherever like that, or do some things differently to not be in this situation no more.
That's what you're saying there. That's why I disagree with that. The last question that was presented, that because we men, it's like we don't have no choice into being moral.
Yeah.
God created man to what? Sin? No, that's not even correct thinking. So I disagree with that one question that you said, that men is already predisposed to cheat or created to cheat. No, not if we have the same creator. My creator didn't create me to cheat. But you have to understand, and all that we've been talking about since we kind of went there, and I'm not going to get into no long thing, you got to understand that you're only going to be tempted or have a problem with those things that are in you already. It's not that maybe sex isn't his driving point. Maybe he falls in other areas, you know what I'm saying? And so, sex can be that way. As a former crackhead, I haven't had crack since 1991. But when I was involved, it was every day. It put a sawed-off shotgun in my hands. It made me go do stuff. But now I don't have the desire for crack. My whole mind, my whole thinking about it has changed. It's been since August 31st, 1991.
So crack ain't your thing, but sex your thing?
Well, no, what I'm saying, I didn't
That's my thing.
displace it.
That's my thing.
But I'm saying to you, I was just an example that I was hardcore in trying to get my drug. I was hardcore. That's all I thought about. So that's all I'm going to pursue.
Yeah.
But once that enticement was no longer a part of my thinking process, then no, I didn't have to move to something else. I didn't have to do that no more. And what I'm saying in that case, I'm kind of defending you, I guess. But you don't really need defending.
I'm good.
I really understand that.
And then, not to cut you off, my perspective of things is just different because I am married though, so it's hard for me to think back. Yeah. And me and my wife didn't wait to have sex before we got married, so it's just interesting to me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because I'm a horn dog because I see my wife get out the shower every day, so I ain't got no choice. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I be trying to explain to women and wives, like, when a man is truly in love with you,
wait a minute. Okay, now talk.
When a man is truly in love with you, it ain't like she was just telling our friends the other day. We was playing this question game, and they said, "Have you ever had a problem with?" She was like, "I could flick him and it's on." You know what I'm saying? But that's, to me, I'm like, I'd be telling her that's how it's supposed to be. Like, the day that I'm not like that, we might have an issue. You know what I'm saying? Like, but she it's just it's beauty in differences. You know what I'm saying? The
Yes.
world needs the horn dog like me. The world needs somebody that's willing to be celibate. You know what I'm saying? So it's I love conversations like
Yeah,
this
me
because
too.
it just shows how broad the world is. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir.
Yeah.
And I think it's a beautiful place to be when we can all sit in a place and just talk about the greatness of the differences, but we can still agree on such things.
Yes, sir.
So what
We'll
I think
definitely
that's
need more of that.
yeah.
Definitely.
And here's the thing, because a lot of women think they don't believe that it's men out here that's faithful to their wives. They don't believe that it's men out here that's celibate and looking for the right person. They don't
Mhm.
believe, that that is even possible. And so that's the whole thing too, giving you guys a platform. And I know y'all don't talk for all men, you know what I'm saying? But just the variety that's here in this room is awesome. You can talk about it. I love how, even Sean, even in the silliness, asking questions, being inquisitive about it.
Yes.
Oh
Like,
no,
hey, how you
yeah,
doing this? You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? That's good because people are watching and they wondering, okay, is this real? You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? Is he being real? That he can sit in a room full of men and say, I haven't had sex in 4 years.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like how y'all keep saying marriage is hard. The last 4 years, it's had its challenges, its strong point. I mean, its weak points. Yeah,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
definitely has or whatever like that. But it's the consistency and the committed that I am to like, nah, I ain't going or whatever like that. So
Okay. And it is late, yo. I didn't realize it's 8:40 right now.
Oh, Lord.
So, any last minute, what would you say to last minute comments? What would you say to a woman that feels as if she feels like her husband is not satisfied, right? What would you say to her? Just with that statement, not knowing all the intricate details, but she feel her husband is not satisfied. What would you say to her? And then what would you say to the husband who may not be satisfied with his partner, his spouse, or whatever? What would you say?
yeah, Sean, what would you say?
Which one? So what do I say to the woman who feels her husband isn't satisfied? I would just say the same thing that the world says to us when things are going our way. Keep fighting. I mean, because my thing is sometimes we as man we're not in position to accept or to even properly see the things you're trying to do to satisfy us. But like Anthony said, sometimes it's just something in ourselves that we got to get right so that we can be in position to accept it. And I've been there. I've been there. Everybody is different, but I've been there to where I don't want to talk, and I don't feel like telling you why I'm not satisfied right now and all that. But like I said, when you always on the offense, that's it. Stay on the offense. Don't be on the defense and say, "Well, he's not satisfied. What should I do?" No, just like how I said, Mr. Sam, he got to keep plugging into his wife, no matter what the season is. Well, that's a season. It may be a season of a man being unsatisfied. You still got to keep plugging in. You know what I'm saying? Now to the man that's unsatisfied, you got to say it. I mean, now I do believe that it's annoying as hell to having to keep saying it. Like
Yes.
my thing
To keep
is,
saying it.
but my thing is, as a spouse, if you know something is right, just come with the right attitude. That goes a long way. If you come with the attitude that I'm here to help and I'm asking you, are you satisfied because I'm ready and willing to do what I need? Now that's a different story. But if you come to me and say, what you acting like that for? Or what's your problem? And we both know what the problem is. Now that's just putting us further on the defense. So that's my thing is when you ask if they're unsatisfied, ask with the mindset of being ready to do what needs to be done to work towards it. Because we can feel it. We can feel when you just asking out of attitude or desperation or irritation. Like we could really feel it. And I felt my wife didn't ask me for it, and I felt the irritation. I'd be like, nothing, I'm cool. Because I know you're not even in the right space to receive what I really need to tell you. So I'd rather not even say it, because if I say it and you receive it wrong and you come back with irritation, now we in a way worse situation. So that's my answer, to be ready and willing to do what needs to be done to try to change that.
I like that. Ready and willing, because if you're ready and you're willing, then you can see the prosperous moments in it. I believe that if you're speaking and you're letting somebody know how you feel, then you should be able to work at it. Now, if you work at it and it doesn't turn out the way that you wanted it to turn out, there's always ways to encompass yourself to get better. But if it's a spouse and you know each other, then that feeling should continue to that thrive should continue to reset itself for you to become better. And I believe that when you're in a marriage or when you're in a relationship, building on that chemistry makes it all the worthwhile. But you have to be willing to put yourself in that position, that vulnerable state, especially when it comes to sex. So.
Anything else before we go? Sam, did you want to comment on that?
No, I think they said it all on that one, to be honest.
All right.
I think they did.
You want to close us out there?
May the Lord watch between me and thee. Go ahead, finish it, Sam.
While we absent, one for another.
Thank you all for tuning in to the Story of Heroes. Well, we have 1 more week, 2 more weeks.
2 more meets, 2 more, and that's it.
Yep, you are invited, men, to come into the studio audience, be a part of the conversation. We start at 7:30 on Thursday. We will see you next week.
John, you are bad.
I know that last question was specifically for me. Cause my wife been on that. She just like, I feel like you're not satisfied. What's going on?